Establish radiant heart, expanding from your heart space circumferentially to your sides, to your back, to your front, opening up your heart space, sending your pubis back, keeping your chin up, and then bowing, honoring your practice, honoring your intention for your practice, honoring the openness of your heart. Lift up, V-vector your arms. Knees go in, pubis back, then knees go wide, hips wide, ecstasy arms. Standing by the wall, keep your heels lifted so that the base glutes stay on the rise. V-vector your arms, touch your fingertips down, then step away from the wall far enough so that you can keep your arms straight. Knees bent, pubis lowers, hips lower, hips to heels, and then pulse, opening up your belly, express your belly. Twisting your knees, twisting your feet, parallel parking each hip, opening up, and then walking up the wall. Right seed hand presses forward, left seed hand presses forward, globe hands lower. Lower your left knee down, parallel park your right hip, right femur bone goes back and wide in your hip. Then lower your right knee down, send your hips back behind your rib cage, parallel park your left hip. Left femur bone goes back and wide. Right or both knees touch down, dome hands, slide bright. Walk your knees back so that the toes and mounds of your feet touch the wall, but your heels are lifted away from the wall. Keep the glutes mounding up towards your sacrum, and then twist. Left ear to left shoulder, right dome hand, right seed hand, and then rotate your rib cage by pressing the mound of your left hand into the earth. Lifting your rib cage up and then opening up your belly, expressing your belly. Touch down, right dome to right, left dome. Keep your outer elbows rotated out so that the wings on the back side stay rotated out and wide. Right ear to right shoulder. Left seed hand lifts. Keep the mounds of your feet pressing into the wall so that you have something to propel your hips, your heart forward. Rotate your belly, your rib cage, express your belly. Keep your heart light, maybe a smile on your face to really keep your whole feeling inside buoyant and free to move in a fluid way. Dig, drag right toes, right mound of your foot touches. Keep your right knee pressing forward, hips back and even to the left. Lift up, left knee lifts, pulse, and then touch. So this is just like tribal stance. Right knee pressing wide, left toes pressed or facing the floor, both knees wide, and then step down. Bring it back down just like you came up. Fingertips press in, mounds of your hands press in so that your heart stays buoyant and lifting. Back side of your ribs open, shoulder blades wide. Come down and touch. Both knees establish radiant heart. Rib cage wide, belly expressed towards the floor. Left toes touch the wall, the mound of your left foot. Keep your left heel lifted away from the wall. And pulse, hips back, pelvic floor open towards the wall. Lift your right knee up, keep the pulse. Hips back and even towards the right. And then lift up, both hips lift, just like tribal stance. Right toes face the floor, left toes face the side. Both knees go wide, pelvic floor open. Heart stays lifted away from the earth. And then touch down, just like you came up. Pulse, hips stay wide. And then touch down, come down to your knees. Keep your rib cage buoyant, lifted up away from the earth. Forearms come down, interlace your fingers. Keep your tips of your fingers soft, the palm of your hands doming. Squeeze the heel of your hand in and up towards your heart. Lift your heart, and then touch right toes, left toes. Remove your right toes away from the wall. Press the mound of your right foot into the air, an imaginary floor. Both knees stay low. Both knees stay open at a 90-degree angle. Back of your heart is wide. And then bend your right knee, lengthen your left leg long, lean your hips to the right, pulling both hips away from each other, both knees, both femur bones wide away from each other. Left knee bends, right knee lengthens, right leg lengthens. Keep your feet still engaged from the mound of your foot. Hips back, toes touch the wall. Pull your heart forward, keeping your glutes on the rise. Come down, toes touch, mounds touch. Dome hands lift. Step away from the wall, hips touch the wall. And then horse stance, rotate your feet out. Heels in at a 45-degree angle. Touch your hips to the wall and your head to the wall. Express your belly forward. V-vector your arm and then right knee in. Parallel park your right hip. Left both knees in. Parallel park both hips. Open up. And then keep your elbows forward in front of your rib cage. Dome hands. Hop together. And then facing the wall, keep the back side of your ribs open. So even here, the shoulder blades can be wider apart. Rotate your heels in, knees wide, pelvic floor open, radiant channel open, touch down, dome, slide bright. Keep your rib cage full, pop up, touch, and then touch your hips to the wall so your belly is expressing open towards the ceiling. Fingertips, mounds of your hands press in. The palm of your hands doming, keeping your heart lifted, and then bicycle your legs, keeping the knees low, back of your knees open, using the bottoms of your feet, the mounds of your feet to dig in, drag back through the air. Set your right hip on the wall, rotate, bicycle, and then rotate center, rotate left, left hip on the wall, keep your knees open, knees forward, belly open, bicycle. Come back to center. Right ankle crosses over left knee. Keep the left heel off of the wall, the mound of your foot pressing down. Both knees press down, hips stay high. So here your heart and hips are helping keep you lifted up. And then touch down. Right foot touches. Knees forward, hips back. Globe hand, step down. Left toes touch. Keep your ribs wide on the backside, shoulder blades broad, hips go back, heart forward, top of your head goes forward, belly's expressed open towards the floor, touch down, dome, slide right. Then keep your rib cage full, belly long, as you hop up, touch, toes, mounds, and then touch your hips to the wall, remove your feet away from the wall, rotate, right hip touches, and bicycle, helping lengthen your belly, and rotate, left hip touches, bicycle, lengthen your belly, press up from your heart away from the floor, left ankle crosses over your right knee, keep your right toes or your right heel away from the wall, press your knees down, open belly, knees down, hips high, heart high, hips high, touch down, left toes. Keep your hips back, heart lifts up, globe hands, elbows lift up, helping your whole wings spread wide. Right toes touch down, mounds touch down. Come so that your right side is facing the wall. You're about knees distance, so when you bend down, knees forward, your right knee may touch the wall. It's really close. Hips back, bowing forward, then lift up. Right hand touches the wall so that your thumb's facing the ceiling. Send your hips back so that your right side's long. Right ear touches down to your right shoulder. Left hand ecstasy. Hips stay back. Pubis goes down so you're rooted. The mounds of your glutes are mounded. Your glutes are mounted up into your sacrum, and then you rotate at your belly button, at your waist. Keep your ribs lifted. Rotate your feet, your hips, right around your belly. Keep your left arms pushing long, hips away from the wall. Right fingertips touch. Globe hands, other side. Lift your heels. Lean forward, bow forward. Heart stays buoyant, rib cage buoyant. belly long, head lifts up. Touch your left hand to the wall, root the mound of your hand. Left ear to left shoulder, hips far away so your left side gets really long. And then rotate. Rotate your toes, your heels. Lengthen your belly, keep your pubis back, hips rooted. Right hand touches the wall. Then rotate your feet again. Rotate at your belly button, keeping the back of your heart lifted, back of your head lifted, around the world. Left hand ecstasy. Sit your hips back away from the wall. Right wrist and right hip away from each other. Globe hands. Heels come in. Malasana, touch down. Dome, slide right. Keep your side bodies long. Touch. As you touch your right toes to the wall, send your right hip to the wall. That helps you keep up. And then lengthen your left leg long, keeping the feeling of a drag back still through your hips. Lean your hips towards the wall. Right hip touches the wall, right knee touches the wall. And then lift, keep your hips lifting up. Right hand touches, cartwheel off. Knees wide, globe hands touch. Keep your shoulder blades wide. And then opposite side. Lift your heels, rotate on the mounds of your feet. In, come down, keep your hips behind your rib cage. Side bodies long, touch down, dome, slide right, lean forward. Heart stays lifted. Touch your left toes to the wall. Keep your left hip towards the wall to help keep you lifted up. And then come center. Right leg goes long. Keep your right femur bone back towards the back side of your leg, the hamstring side of your leg, pulling your hips apart. And then touch your left hip down, left knee down on the wall. Come back to center. Option to lean all the way your hips to the right. Touch and then cartwheel off. Globe hands. Come back to center, honoring your practice. Revisiting chair pose. Prayer hands on your head, elbows forward. Hips rooting back from the mounds of your feet, pulling back, heels pulling back, belly expresses forward, heart lifts up, and then bowing, reminding yourself of your intention, and then honoring your heart, offering the radiance of your heart to the world. Namaste.